They believe we are alive. Somebody called me unk. I can't believe when thought you guys were my friends.
Mm. Okay, what do you think about D here?
Well, a proportional increase would not be an increase in rate.
But like
So the
my
so the
so my
statement says
logic,
that
you first.
well, the statement says that there's been an increase in the rate of serious infections.
Mm-hmm.
So that should mean, or like percentage
Mm.
wise, there's a higher percentage of people. But a proportional increase would mean your population went up, your number of uh, of serious infections went up, but it went up proportionally, so the rate would stay the same.
Mm, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
They,
Proportional is a keyword that I didn't understand there. Modern
yeah,
treatments.
they disguised that really well. Jake, uh, did I ever get Fortnite? No, I what did we talk about last time? Did you tell me that I should try it because my system might be able to handle it? Because I remember I thought I wouldn't be able to stream it. Oh, right, right. Yeah. How are you, by the way? I haven't seen you since then, basically. I only got three wrong in this section, so I'm doing slightly better.
Not bad. What did you get wrong?
All right, now, yeah, concussion protocol. Okay, back at work. The lingering headache obviously is not good, but glad to know you're okay. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna try Fortnite at some point. What? Are you laughing at me for being nearly 100 years old and trying
Of
Fortnite for the
course.
first time?
Of course, of course.
Doctor said it's not uncommon, just from the head trauma. Okay, that's good. All right, section four, baby. Let's knock this shit out. Fair emphasis. I'm still streaming it to Discord, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let me know if you want me to talk you through why I answered the way I
Mhm.
did on all of these. You're back gonna drive home from Taco Bell. Don't even get on your phone to drive now. That's good. Uh,
My God.
yeah, this is gonna be for multiple questions though.
Oh, okay.
was born the same year as my grandfather.
Wow. Um, the answer to this should be A, right?
Yeah, so like C and D both probably, but they're both definitely things the author was concerned with. But primarily,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with A.
Let's say C here because it talks about the um inspiration from African and South African music. Although I'm not sure.
So D and E though bring in that texture thing, the unsupported canvas.
Hmm. True.
Um, the thing is, E is about a crumpled canvas, which I don't think was mentioned. So, so like A and B are both definitely wrong because they're both
Sure. Yeah.
uh, about explicitly depicting a thing, which he didn't like.
Hmm.
C is abstract, but D, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, D doesn't specifically say it's abstract, so, and which I guess it's not. Images of the sea and clouds, that's nothing,
So
but the
E
fact that the
or
canvas is, the fact that the canvas is unframed and hung from a
mm,
balcony, that's what makes me think that that's the thing he did that I've never heard of any other artist do.
mhm, yeah.
And E gives an element of that, but it doesn't say anything about him crumpling up a canvas. But it does say, mention a couple of different ways that he would like drape a canvas across something or spread it out to
Mhm,
give it a third dimension. So th- what exemplifies the characteristics of his word, I think, is deep. Like C is abstract, which makes sense. But if you just read the description of C, there's a lot of artists that could have done. I've
Yeah.
never heard of
Okay.
any artist other than this guy doing something like what's described in D. So I think it's D. Yeah. So they mentioned the
Yeah.
collage artist to show to show like this is what he didn't like.
Mhm.
I mean,
Um.
he he didn't he wasn't condescending towards
No. I'm
representation.
open to satisfaction
Yeah,
because
I think
if
so. The only one that the only other one that comes close is Steve, but he wasn't. Doesn't sound like he was making a lot of jokes about it either. He was
yeah.
serious. He didn't like it.
Mhm.
So I think yeah, I think it's B.
Isn't
Oh,
this
the
just
article.
E?
Yeah, the passage doesn't say that.
Yeah.
It says that he took inspiration from seeing a neighbor's laundry hanging out to dry,
But not
but not
um
that
the give
the
artist
broad
great
statement about
inspiration.
everyday images being most likely to give inspiration. It doesn't say that.
Mm, yeah, just D, I think.
I think so. I mean, obviously, okay. Let's say what is it?
Obviously not
Definitely,
E.
definitely not. It's definitely not E, and it's definitely not C. Um,
Um,
he he addressed political issues, but
yeah, 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 yeah.
he didn't only he didn't make it like an imperative. It says nothing about B in the passage, and A obviously that's ridiculous. He never
Mm,
said no aesthetic restrictions, nor would any artist ever say that. There's
sure.
obviously you want it to look good. That's a restriction. Otherwise, you could
Mhm.
just throw things at the viewer. uh, but yeah, he liked this color field style because the complexity of human experience. He wanted the person seeing it to be able to react in their own way.
Yeah. New story. I would say B here.
Yeah, totally agree. Um, it's- yeah, no notes.
Mhm.
I I don't even feel the need to go through the other answers on that one and show why they're and
Yeah,
decide if they're
yeah.
wrong. Like those are B is just those are the those are the ones that are make sense as titles.
Mhm. Which of the um, to me, E makes the most sense here.
Yeah, I get. I don't think the author of passage B thinks either one of those should be taxed. So it's not C
Yeah.
or D.
C and D
Um,
I discarded right
E is
away.
wrong because one of them clearly it does take place in real life.
Mhm.
Uh, and then A is wrong because both activities generate wealth. So it's got to be
Wait, can you go back to it or it has to be B? I mean E, right?
wait. What did you? Hey, Elias,
E?
back to distracting. You said E,
Yeah.
uh, but but in where fish pulled from the ocean in passage B is referring to some is it's referring to fishing in real life.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Let's see.
So that's like so yeah, it would be
Mm.
E if we were talking about fishing in the game.
Yeah, okay.
But we're actually they're comparing fishing in real life to they're really not even comparing the two, but they're referring to uh, skinning animals in the game, pulling fish from the ocean in real life.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Intrigued and excited?
So I change my earphones 1 second. So catfish in real life can mean two different things. That's true, Elias. What about now? There we go. And Fair, can you hear me in here?
Can indeed.
Okay, excellent. Uh, A is more intrigued and excited.
Message A is more stated. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's C.
Mm-hmm. Based on what can
This is a weird question.
I would say B makes the most sense to me here. Because if it's talking about the like your direct correlations and then trying to give relationship with titles of what they're both talking about,
Right.
like that summarizes kind of.
But wait a minute. We need to be talking about, if we go back, this is where, remember, this was the title we thought made the most sense for
Mhm.
passage A. We're talking about discovering something new, which really is kind of the main point of passage A. He's discovered this new economy that he didn't know existed.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think it's either either C or D, because the first article would
Tier
be
D.
talking about discovering something new, and then the second one should be um, how do we deal with it according to the law that we have already. That's the other thing.
So, so probably B then? I don't understand this part of C, planet or asteroid scientist debate. Like,
Yeah. So in other words, given that we have this, well, first we're saying we've discovered a new planet, then the second article we're asking, is it really a planet? So
mm,
the analogy isn't quite there because there's nothing
mhm,
in passage B as we uh, based on what we have that's asking, is this an economy?
yeah,
Passage B takes it for granted that it's an economy and moves on to the
it
question,
talks about the
should it be taxed?
taxation. Yeah.
Right. In other words, and it's very similar to, like, how does the law apply to, how does the law we already have apply to this new thing? I got to
Mm-hmm.
redo my camera now. So that's going to be
Do
fun.
you?
It's,
E?
it's jumping.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. All right. Should be fine now.
Eat.
Once again, I'm out of focus. When I try to focus, it's probably going to kill my stream.
Mm.
Well, maybe not. Okay, excellent. So I think it's D.
Yeah, D makes the most sense.
Wow.
This is the first one that I just don't really understand. If I had to guess, it would be D, but I'm like lost at sea here.
Well, so my first thought was I don't like A, and then I started going down through the options, and all the other ones are even worse. So I think it's actually A, because
Really?
okay, what sources could these articles have come from? Uh, it says most likely. Well, if I had to say most likely, I would say um, A could easily be a magazine article. A is addressed to a general audience for sure.
Yeah.
It focuses on things that are entertaining about the situation, things that are new, or at least are going to be new to some readers. Um, so a magazine article makes sense also. And then for B,
Hmm.
I would have said an economics journal, not a law journal. But it is really talking about tax law, so I guess that makes sense also.
Mm.
Um, but okay, let's look at the rest of them. All you have to look at for these is passage A. B says passage A came from a technical journal for economists. Give me a break. No, it didn't. And that's the best one. Passage C says it came from a novel. No way.
No.
There's not even there's no fiction in there. Well, now wait a minute. I suppose that could be fiction, but it's not. So, uh, and A is definitely not from a law journal article. That's not how you write in in an academic journal. Um,
Mm.
A could be a speech, most likely not a speech delivered before a legislative body, but it could be a speech, I guess. But then if you look at it says passage B, E says passage B came from a science fiction novel. Not a chance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
B,
yeah.
C, D, and E they all just have clearly wrong things about them.
Mhm.
So A is the only one that's reasonable. Most accurately describes the relationship. Okay. Okay, right off the bat, A makes sense. So I'm looking at the rest of them just to make sure
Yeah,
that
like
there's not another one that makes more sense. Okay, so for B, A does not explain an economic theory.
no. Um, I like A lot. Also, I feel like E has something to kind of think about because if you're talking about the game's economics as a set of facts, will passage B draws theoretical consequences, being the taxation. I think that could be.
I don't like the word
Yeah.
theoretical in E because passage
Mm.
B is drawing potentially it's, it's practical conclusions. Like
Mhm.
this is what's going to actually happen if we follow this way of interpreting the law versus if we follow this way of interpreting the law. but it's addressing a question that's very much that very much needs to be addressed. It's not theoretical; it's happening. I could be wrong that
Yeah.
but that to me is the reason why I think E is it. They could be using the word theoretical in a way that I'm not understanding, and also just the simple fact that we're talking about something that hasn't happened yet. That could be all they mean by theoretical. In which case, E would make sense. But
The only
passage,
part about A that I don't really like is this passage B poses solutions to a problem raised by the phenomenon discovered. Would you
yeah.
really call game's economy system a problem that taxation would solve? But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well,
Just
the problem is that now there seems to be two different ways of interpreting the laws that lead to two different policies on how we should handle these this new economy. The problem is the problem is we have a question that needs an answer and we don't have a good answer. Should it be taxed or not?
okay.
Right. So that's the way I'm reading it.
Ah, that makes
It's
sense.
and passage B is essentially it is proposing solutions. It's describing basically, according to its author, the only two possible solutions. And
Mhm.
um, so let's see. Let's look at the other ones real quick. B says passage A explains an economic theory. That's not right. A C says A reports on a subculture. That's true. That's not a passage B discusses the difficulty of policing that subculture. Not at all. It only discusses whether those transactions should be taxed. Policing the
Mhm.
entire subculture is way out of the scope of what B is about. It's not C. Uh, D says passage A challenges the common interpretation of a phenomenon. Well, no. Passage A
No.
is saying this guy never even heard of this thing before just now. So what? There's no common interpretation of anything, at least not that the author of passage A is aware of. Um, and passage B is also has nothing to do with an interpretation of a phenomenon. So D is definitely out.
Yeah.
So it's either A or E.
I think A makes more sense.
I think A makes more sense to me because there's an unanticipated discovery, and there is a problem raised by this discovery, and B proposes solutions for it. Um,
Mhm.
E, it's the word theoretical in E that I don't like.
Yeah, okay. Makes
Let's
sense.
see. Okay, so A is the only one that's actually
Yeah,
directly
it's the
stated.
only one that makes sense.
Um, Nobody said anything about trading avatars, so it's not B. C, the article does say players can grow wealthier the longer they play. It doesn't say they do. like
Yeah.
automatically. Uh,
Um.
the article says that sometimes, yeah, the companies that own the game give intellectual property rights to some of the players based on their creations. It says sometimes that happens, but the way D is stated,
Yeah.
it means it always happens. Um,
One
and
virtual currency for another just
and
doesn't happen.
no, I mean it could if you had more than one virtual currency in that game, but there's nothing
Yeah.
in the passage about there being more than one currency.
Game
So
allows selling of real items for virtual currency.
yeah, so so A can throw you off because it's not what these games are about.
Yeah.
What those games are really about is allowing you to buy virtual items for real currency.
Mhm.
Oh, wait a minute. Oops, I read that wrong. Selling real items for virtual currency. No,
Oh, wait,
that's
yeah, it
not
should
right.
be virtual items for real currency. Uh,
Ah, it also, I misread the question too. Which of the following is a characteristic of some games that are intentionally commodified?
so this would be D or C,
Right.
which are the only ones that it talks about.
I have no idea. I'm completely stuck on this one. Let's just pick
Huh.
C or D. Because to
Um,
be honest, I'm kind of ready to go through some of your games. I'm tired of this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna quit on this in the long run. I'm gonna keep doing this on my own and also on stream. But uh, for now, I do not want to spend any more time on this question. All right,
um,
let's see. Another.
ooh,
Ugh. If I was looking at passage only view to see if it fit the whole thing on one page, that would be fine, but it doesn't. You still have to flip pages. Elias said, I heard games. Yeah, we're going to go over some of Fair's recent chess games when we get done with this. And then I'm going to go to bed because I'm an old man. But tomorrow's Saturday. I'm planning on spending the entire day doing whatever. I'll be on Discord. So, Elias, whenever you get ready for me to start up a stream and stream Control Europe, just let me know. Yeah, this is funny. They were, I wondered if this is going to come up. Have you heard of this study, Fair? Um,
Which one are we looking
they
at? Oh,
they did this
similarity,
thing.
exceptional memory. Oh, yeah, actually, I have this one about how masters can recall a board better only if the pieces and pawns are set up in something that
In
might
a way
occur
that,
in a game
yeah,
rather than just in random
arranged,
configurations.
if they're arranged randomly, masters do no better than the general population at remembering
Yeah,
those configure. That's crazy. That blew my mind when I heard that. You would think it'd be,
same, but at the same time, it kind of
I mean, it makes
makes
perfect
sense
sense,
though with like how we learn about chess and
right?
how we think about it. When you think about like a game, you don't immediately think about like I don't know the starting position. You might gravitate towards an interesting moment, something memorable.
Yeah, and when you, I guess when you remember a position, you're not just remembering where each piece was. You're remembering
Mhm.
an overall quality of the position
Yeah, you're
that
remembering different
sort of
plans
helps you tie everything together and remember where all the pieces are. But if they were
for
arranged
sure.
randomly and there was no sort of story there, if, like you your chess skill wouldn't help you remember that position.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Elias said, "What is this study?" Did we explain that well enough, or or do you want us to go to start from the beginning and describe the actual study?
So I don't know. I feel like it's very natural to when you look at a chessboard, not to think about the pieces, but think about like what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Something
Like,
about
and that's
positions.
why it's becomes easier to remember for some reason. Can do. Yes, the
Oh,
law school entrance exam. This is my first time practicing it, so this is not exactly ideal conditions, but we're about to find out what my score is. I have not studied for it. I haven't practiced it before, and I've been sitting here talking to everybody while I'm working on it. So, uh, score is probably going to be a little bit depressing, but I thought it'd be fun. So yeah, welcome in.
about the
So
positions.
Elias, it was there was a study that was done that said that so that they tested people's ability to remember chess positions or fragments of chess position, and when it, I think half the participants in the study were chess masters, and the other half were people who had either never played before or like barely knew how the pieces moved. And in positions where the pieces were arranged in a way that could have arisen in a real game, the masters, of course, crushed it. Um, but what really blew my mind at first was that when the pieces were arranged in a random way, the masters did no better than flat out beginners at remembering where the pieces were. Um, so anyway, so that's what this last line of this first paragraph is referring to.
Even in that study, it gets a little bit fuzzy along the lines of what you qualify as a master because there are like technically arena international masters, which
Hey,
is
Eagle.
like
Yeah, I think in the study they only used international titles. So like FM's
Oh,
and
so like
FM's and above.
CMN,
I don't even. They may have had CMs, but
but like international master and above. Yeah.
I got the impression that it was
FM,
FIDE
IM.
titles
Okay.
only. So FM and above was the impression I got. I don't think it was explicitly stated though, so I could have that wrong.
How interesting.
Eagle, thank you for the advice and the help. That's gonna. I'll try not to buy too many mics with that. One bit will fund the new mic. All right. You're not even number one on the board, Eagle. Come on. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for the bit. The one bit.
There we go. There we go.
Those who become superior performers more often show early signs of exceptional interest than early evidence of unusual ability.
What is this talking about?
Yep.
Mm.
You've you've lost interest, haven't you?
Slightly.
The
Is this
LSAT.
still talking about chess?
No, this is about all extremely high performing individuals in 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 sports and other competitive things.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, I did kind of see how long the passage was and just kind of start to click off, to be honest.
This is actually kind of a tricky answer set also. Let's see.
Sweet. Yahoo.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going pretty good.
That is my dog. Coco, what are you doing? Stop eating your foot.
Coco's feet must be delicious.
Whoa.
Apparently, she thinks they're chicken thighs. I don't know.
Sweet. There we go.
Coco is now trying to eat herself. Coco, you are chocolate colored. You are not made of chocolate, though. Oh my gosh, Coco. My gosh, the puppy dog. No, that's what you get for having a crazy doggo.
Yeah.
I think the answer is C, just because.
I think more interesting is the debate that's going on in Rav's Discord about subjectivity and objectivity.
Honestly, I've kind of muted because it just kept going back and forth. I do not go philosophical a lot. I'm not that smart, so I wouldn't be able to argue well. Coco, stop trying to eat yourself. Yeah.
How Zach is blatantly using ChatGPT to form his arguments. Uh-oh.
What?
um, yeah, this whole thing started off because I said the objectivity doesn't exist. And then
Objectivity doesn't exist. That sounds like some
I
shit I
don't
would
know.
say. You've been hanging out with the wrong people.
No, I don't. I'm not that smart. Just usually tend to avoid those conversations.
Oh yeah. It's so obvious how he's just paraphrasing from AI. I thought the phrasing was what made AI obvious.
Exactly. No, I just his whole argument to me just like didn't make sense, to be honest. Like, this whole thing feels like very circular logic. A lie is the opposite of a truth, and if truth does not exist, then lie does not exist either. If there is no truth that is absolute, then that means anything you say about it is not a lie because a lie has to be again. This feels very circular, but I don't know.
I mean, if he's attempting to prove the existence of objective reality, he's fighting a losing battle. It can't be proven. Now, I think it exists, and I think saying that it doesn't is crazy, but I can't prove it. The only thing I can prove is that I have certain experiences. Well,
Mhm.
I can't even prove that to you. I can only prove it to myself. I can't even prove to myself that you exist.
Very true. You have
So, I mean,
literally no proof.
the foundation of your statement is definitely there. It's just the problem is if you assume that it's true and that there is no such thing as objective reality, then there's kind of no point in doing or saying anything ever.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, I can put this in here real quick. This was how it all stemmed. Uh, that's
He
how it all
basically
stemmed
brought up,
out.
let me see what Elias is saying. He basically brought up how if there's no absolute truth, then one can never lie. Wait a minute. I, yeah, don't get me wrong. Again, don't, I agree that absolute truth exists, but even if it doesn't, you can still lie. Lying is saying something you believe to be false, not something that necessarily is false. You can you can make a true statement and be lying if you think it's false.
Mhm.
So objective reality has nothing to do with whether you can lie.
Yeah, uh, very true.
He's saying, yeah, Elias, if someone asks if you'd like to taste whatever that is and you say no, even though you did, you just lied. Yeah, exactly. And what's worse than him questioning absolute truth that he keeps saying he's compelled to spread his faith.
True. That seems to be his.
Compelled to spread his faith. Wait a minute.
That seems to be his de facto
Wait, I thought he was saying that
thing.
objective truth exists.
Um,
Hmm?
here, one sec.
Is he saying it does or it doesn't? Now I don't even know what he's saying.
And- What?
Um, let's see here. Um,
I mean,
I
if you're having to work that hard just to tell whether he believes in
okay.
objective reality or not, then
Thursday. He believes that objective truth does exist. There we go.
okay.
And we found it. Um, then
Yeah. So in this case, Elias, I think you misunderstood him. He is saying objective truth exists. But
Again, I feel
his way
like
of proving it is my problem. He's saying then there would be no if it didn't, then there would be no such thing as a lie. Which, first of all, so what if there was no such thing as a lie? I don't even think this
his
is AI.
first.
This is too stupid to be AI, and that's saying something because I've seen AI make some stupid arguments.
um, uh,
Sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish if it's AI or a person actually being stupid.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
that's because it's hard to distinguish AI from a person. We talk about it all the
Eh,
time. But
some-
we talk all the
yeah.
time about how easy it is, but it's not all. It depends on the type of question, and it depends on what's being discussed and how and for what reason, and
Yeah, and it
also the style
depends.
of writing. Look, if you now, I will say, if you give a fiction writing task to a person and to an AI, you can tell which is which because AI writes fiction by spewing adjectives and adverbs all over the place.
Mhm.
Although I do have to make the point, people always bring up the M dash and say that if there's an M dashes in there, then it's AI. That's a really bad way of determining whether AI is writing something. There are correct ways to use an M dash, and just because somebody uses it doesn't mean they got it from AI. Just a little, just a little helpful hint. I know you're all very grateful.
um, yeah. Then Meanie Pants and Greg decided not to play some blindfold bullet, which was mean. Um,
Greg deciding not to play blindfold bullet
yeah.
was mean.
I asked if, yeah, I asked if he would play blindfold bullet with me, and he said no.
Yeah, Elias
Tisk,
said
tisk,
blindfold
tisk.
bullet does not sound fun, and I agree. It sounds like a nightmare, in fact. Just
Blindfold
for the
bullet is
just
so
for the
fun.
record, just for the record, I also don't want to play blindfold bullet. I don't know if
No,
I don't know if that makes me mean, but
very mean. You're gonna be the next person I ask.
Did you see like Chess Bra? He did like a pre-moved, oh my gosh, Mona Lisa in Bullet or something, and he actually checkmated his opponent blindfolded.
yeah,
Yeah, the
Ahmad.
blindfold sideways Mona Lisa checkmate. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
Oh
was
wait,
was
insane.
something
was that
else.
what's the? Oh, was that? No,
So the
I
Mona
saw one
Lisa,
where Ahmad did the thing where
Yeah.
you
So it's
checkmate.
Amon's checkmate, his
yeah,
Mona Lisa, the reset checkmate, but he did
Oh,
it
it's the
on the
reset.
side
Okay,
of the board
hmm
while blindfolded.
good
it was
lord.
insane.
Yeah,
But
I can
Freaking GMs,
send
man.
the link real
It's
quick.
ridiculous. Like, and Amon
Here we go.
is certainly,
I'm pretty sure this is it.
dude,
Ah.
I'm still trying to get like the board in my brain, try to visualize the board over in my brain over the over the board. If that makes sense, it's crazy. How did they do that?
no, I know. Like,
Blindfold.
I mean, I can keep the board in my head for a few moves at best. I could never play an entire game blindfolded, much less fast.
crazy. He turns it to blindfold at the 1 minute mark, and I just don't understand how.
Yeah.
That's still crazy to me.
This is just the best kind of nonsense.
Mm.
My God. That is genuinely insane. But yeah.
All right. Last question. Then we
You
can
should pick
see how
B out of it.
bad my score is, and then we
Uh,
can go over
How
some
good?
games. How good it is? You think it's going to be good? Did you
Yeah,
did you
Mr.
see?
At almost 1500 high school SAT.
Yeah, but this is a lot harder than the SAT.
Agreed, but that is
Word is actually so cooked, bro.
welcome to the
His
club.
opponent his opponent downloaded 1,400 of his over the board games to prep for him.
Who did?
Ooh.
Did you say Rav's opponent?
Oh, Borat, the national
Oh, okay.
master we have in our little community. No, no, no. That's chill. He's gonna be prepping for the wrong stuff. Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Complete section. Oh, 166. That's not as bad as I thought. It's not good.
$66. What is it?
So like I think 170 is Elias, I'm not sure what the let's find out. Ugh. First of all, 120 is the lowest possible score.
Oh,
Did not
oh,
realize
one
that.
second.
So my 166 is
Oh wait, no,
or
but 180 is the
180 is the
highest.
highest.
So
Not bad.
166 is still like quite a bit above the average.
Yeah, let's see. With a 166, you have a significant edge in your. Where did that go? Category correlates to the top 10% of all test takers.
Oh,
Mm,
nice.
Dang. Dang.
That's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I mean, top 10% is still, that's not as impressive as it sounds. I'm technically in the top 10% of all chess players also. So,
Are
you
you?
know, yeah.
Really? If you're 1,000 plus, you're in the top 10%. That's crazy.
Well, I'm 1300, so it's a little,
Oh, love
it's not
it.
quite that
Actually,
simple, but
I think 800 might be close to top 10%.
right. That's what I'm saying. But still, this is it falls into the exceptional range. Okay, this isn't necessarily this
Harvard won't
isn't
accept that.
this isn't the same, Harvard won't I didn't expect to get a Harvard worthy score my first time on stream while holding multiple conversations at the same time. But being in the quote unquote exceptional range, that's fine.
Probably get like
Um,
a 1 or 2 on the LSAT if I took it.
Well, you definitely get a bad score because you already forgot that 120 is the lowest possible score.
Okay, then I would get a 120.
Uh, you placed overwhelmingly high, specifically in the top 10%. Oh, you know what though? That makes sense though, because top 10% of all chess players includes a lot of people who haven't bothered to like learn how the pieces move. Top
Hmm.
10% of people who take the LSAT, those are already people who have been achieving pretty highly academically anyway. You
yeah,
don't
those are
take
people who are trying to get into the law school, so
Yeah, you don't take the LSAT unless you're um, pretty confident in your ability academically. So top 10% of all LSAT test takers, I'll, I'm happy with that.
yeah. Um, what does Harvard require for an LSAT?
I mean, my guess would be 175 plus.
175? What the heck?
They're not going to require a perfect score because that's too restrictive. There's too many other. You'd be leaving
I would
out too
think like a
many good students.
170.
But it depends on the percentile. Like if 175 is like 99.95 percentile, then that's probably too high. But
Mm,
it entirely depend on how many students they're ruling out by accepting a certain score. So you may be right. I mean,
um,
170 may be
it
enough.
says there's no strict cutoff, but Harvard Law places you around a competitive spot that is 170 to 176. That said, people have been accepted with a minimum of around 166.
Um,
So, I mean,
so technically I
Technically,
could.
that is.
Technically, my well, I was gonna say technically I could get into Harvard Law, but that's not true. Technically, my LSAT score is good enough, but they still wouldn't let my dumb ass in because my GPA wasn't good enough.
technically, technically, the LSAT was good enough if you didn't flag like 5 times.
Oh, that's
So,
true too. I also took like twice the allotted time, so
Yeah. And if you had the money as well, because Harvard ain't cheap.
yeah. The only way I would ever actually go to Harvard is if I got a scholarship, which would mean I'm definitely not getting a scholarship with a 166.
no,
Yeah. No way.
definitely not. That's the minimum they.
Have
That's
ever
like,
accepted. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still though, that's
So that
okay.
being
That's
said,
that's better than I thought.
it's a fantastic score if you ask me.
I guess so. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Given the circumstances, yeah, I think so. Pretty happy with it. Gotta say. Just
Just
have
a
rejection pay
projection
for it.
pay.
Yeah. The the
I mean,
typical
you're not wrong.
solution. That solution that always works, right? Get some money out of. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's rethink that. Has he ever spent money on anything besides hookers? I'm just curious.
Um,
Taxis to go to the hooker's
Taxis.
place. Well,
Go. Okay.
beer,
Yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah. Beer,
mm,
wine.
racehorses, like gambling,
True.
sports
his
teams,
Okay. Okay.
his
fancy
chess.com
meals.
membership.
Oh, that's true. McDonald's
McDonald's
at
at
3
3
a.m.
a.m. Yeah. So does any of that give us any confidence that he might want to pay for me to go to Harvard Law?
Nope. No, here this could be your proposition. You would be his lawyer if you paid basically pro bono with maybe like 10% actual cost. I don't know, of an actual lawyer.
Yeah. So he should pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a free lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
That's our pitch. I'm not very confident in it so far, I gotta say. All right, now the problem with this is I want to be able to review this.
Coco, stop eating your foot again. My gosh, Dunk.
All right, I think this is fine. All right, so fair.
Mhm. Yeah.
What games did you want to go over? Let's
Um,
we can
I set up like a classroom thing. If you want to hop on chess.com, I think how this works is I just invite you and then you can
Yeah.
see it.
yep.
So, profit gaming. I I invited you and you accepted. Sweet. Um, can you see this?
Yeah, let me adjust my stuff on stream to make sure.
Couple of games that I just want to like quickly analyze. I have all in all I have 14, but a lot of them can be sped through. I'd say some of them can.
Okay, let me go to I'm gonna run an ad and I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick and then we'll start
Sweet.
on this. Oh, let me change my category also. Okay, let's do this.
Sweet. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. Um,
Will do.
so knight f3, c5, g3, d5, bishop g2, e6. This is all preparation. Knight f3, c5, c4 is another line, and knight f3, c5, e4 transposes into e4, c5, knight f3. I chose to play g3 right away in case my opponent wanted to transpose into this type of system, which is a like Queen's Gambit type setup. Um, Alternatively, there's Knight c6 in these types of positions, which is called a reversed Grunfeld, where
Right.
it's a Grunfeld, but you're playing the white pieces, so you have a tempo up, and it's very pleasant. Um, e6 was chosen. We quickly got into this type of Catalan esque position where black's coronation kind of doesn't make sense, is what I was thinking about in the game. So I took a dream scenario for me would be something like this, where I saddle them with an IQP, put like bishop here, here, and I don't know, just some typical type plan where I feel like these positions are always rather pleasant with the light squared
Yep.
bishop here, some pressure, very easy plan for
Easy
white.
plan. Yeah.
So knight d5 was chosen, which I felt like was worse because I could play e4, and now knight f6 runs into e5. So knight b4, a3, knight a6, and I felt like this knight is very misplaced. Like
Yeah.
when comparing the quality between the knight here and here,
Right.
you've let me get the entire center and you've misplaced your knight, you know?
Right.
Um, so I played knight c3, cb4, knight d4, bishop e5, bishop e3, knight c6, knight c6, take, f4. And the point all comes back to this knight
So what?
being misplaced, but
So yeah,
now
this
there's an
was
additional weakness.
what I'm wondering is somewhere along the way, could Black not have played something like maybe instead of knight c6, for example, knight
Hmm.
c5? It
Knight
doesn't.
c5.
It doesn't give a direct threat, but at least reroutes the knight. And it doesn't feel
Okay,
like
so
to me like Black can. It seems to me like Black can take that time. What Black's behind in development, but I'm not like
yeah,
terribly afraid of what White's doing right now.
my idea after a knight c5 move was to play f4, which the engine doesn't say is
The engine didn't
best,
like that,
although it's still enough to give white a decent edge. My
right?
idea was f4. Takes is about the best that black can do, but to me, this just looks kind of awful. I mean, you're just gonna
Yeah,
give me two bishops on a board like this, and I
yeah,
will try to find some play against your king. Knight c5, knight f3, the fish gives, which hits both pieces, to be fair. So it's forcing something like this, and then taking the two bishops and then playing f4. So this
Right.
type of endgame is what the engine would like to go for.
Right.
With, I mean, very, at least to me, seemingly obvious that this should be much better for white, you know?
Right.
Just any type of idea. So they played knight c6. I took, and then I went into this endgame where my idea was to play against this knight and the queenside weaknesses. So bishop c3, bc3. And then there was this really cool idea here with rook d3, bishop d4, c5, and e5 that I was
Huh.
thinking about in the game. Um, it's not quite as phenomenal as what the engine gives. Engine just gives rook ad1, some
Right.
pretty set type thing. But I was very happy with a position like this where I felt like the two bishops were just incredibly well placed.
Right.
Um, I would have been very happy with this. So, oh no, I need evaluation. So they played bishop e7, rook ab1, and then this was the first rapid game that I had played in quite a bit of time. And now that the game was over, my opponent actually resigned here
Huh.
because they're going to be losing b7. So I was pretty happy to play this game. It was like definitely a very, I don't know,
Yeah, at first I thought,
easy
well,
game.
giving up the exchange, you don't necessarily have to resign, but it's worse than that.
Yeah.
Black's position was already terrible, and
Hmm.
now they're giving up the
Exactly.
exchange.
Um, so then this was the next game, which featured this very interesting opening, e4, c5, c4. You can see this, right? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Featured e4, c5, c4, knight c6. This, and my idea was basically that I'm going to try to break with d5. And if I can break with d5, I should be equal, if not better.
Right.
So d3, knight f6, f4, d5. And this is a common type of rule in the Sicilian. Normally,
If you
when you
can play
break with
d5 and get away
d5,
with it tactically, you're fine.
yeah, if you can play d5, you've equalized. So this was how it got out of the opening. And I was very happy with my position here. Now, I played this move f6,
And you decided
which
to ruin it by playing f6.
the engine really doesn't like. The engine here likes bishop e6, b3, and b5. Then c4, just storming the white king.
Right.
Very, very uncompromising.
Yeah, I would never have
Here I would be,
considered
yeah,
b5, but of course, I can't take it.
I would be very worried over F5 ideas, but
But yeah,
the
that's
engine
the
is
other
like,
thing. How is white not just engine says bishop c8. Okay.
yeah. Or it even gives this in c4. So queen
Oh, right.
h4,
Wow.
king d2, c4.
Wow.
Take, queen f2, queen e2, c3,
C5. C, yeah.
king d1, c2. Like, very uncompromising, very belligerent, and like,
Belligerent.
look at this checkmate. Ready?
Oh,
And then King here,
Wait.
knight d3, rook c1.
Oh, that's nuts. Knight d3 is what
Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen knight d3 when it was on the board, let alone from 5 moves away.
Yeah. This is like the type of stuff Engine wanted. Okay, I played f6, took, and then here actually I misevaluated. I took with the queen, which is not what the Engine wants. It gives this crazy g takes f6.
I
I
guess
consider this briefly, but
if you're gonna play f6 in the first place, might as well do some more crazy shit.
exactly. And
That's how
it
Stockfish
gives
thinks, right?
it gives this line, which I could never play with black. What are we
No,
doing here?
no. But to
Why
be
is there
fair, what are we doing with f6 in the first place? I mean,
okay, f6, queen f6, knight f3, bishop g4, bishop b5, and already my opponent has messed this up after the move a6. Alternative, long castles is enough to maintain equality. A6 gives a very tiny edge, and that edge starts to grow after they give away a pair of bishops. Although long castles is wrong, and now white's back in the game, so a very like kind of topsy turvy. My opponent here has 95, which they missed. After takes, this endgame should be better for them because their passed pawns are moving far easier than mine as I have this
right.
bad structure. So they played h3, and we go into this endgame. This endgame I was actually very happy to go into because I felt like my pawns might be able to move easier as like I have more pieces around my opponent's pawns, if that makes sense. Just it
Right.
feels easier to create stuff on the queen side than on the king side.
Now white just has a little bit more work to do to start supporting their pawns. You're
Yeah, exactly.
you don't have as much.
As
Uh,
much I need to figure out. So I play b5, g4, and I played h5. Here I was considering between playing h5, which I'm very glad I didn't play, and b5. I ended up settling on b5 because my idea was after g4, I was going to play h5 and try to stop my opponent from playing with his pawns. He played g5, g6, h4,
so now essentially
rook
you
here.
have done that, right?
Yeah, so now essentially I can run my king to e6 and he has no forward mobility with the pawns, which is what I do. Then c4, bishop c5, using just a nice bit of like just some
Yeah.
simple tactics. It takes doesn't
Right.
work, and also a nice line here was this,
Ah,
where now the opponent
he's
has to give away
giving away a
the
piece. Yeah.
bishop. Yeah. So just a few nice little ideas that make this take forced. I play king d5, trying to get in king e4. D3, king here, a5. Now the best move here, I am in time trouble. I think I have around a minute on the clock left. So I played a5, really because it's a nothing move. And maybe it gives some thought to before c5 in the future. this just allows king d4, which I played c3, and then I missed a tactical shot right here with rook e5,
That'd be nice.
which is just a very clean way to put off the game. Although I found it here, I didn't
Missed,
play
missed
c2.
before.
C2 would have been better. But I played this. My opponent took, and resigned because c2 is coming, d2 is coming. They're
Well, you also have
almost
mate, right?
checkmated.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, any questions about this game? Or
No, I think.
no?
Um, let me scroll back through. I don't. I think I had a question, but I think you answered it.
Okay. I can just quickly.
Oh, that was it. This 2c4 is it? Um, what the hell? Can you do that?
um, it's an idea, kind of. So,
I mean,
what White's
the point
idea
for me,
is to
if I could do
play.
that, the point would be to play knight f3 and d4 and play it like a Maroxybine Sicilian.
Yeah, that's what normally the idea is. Although here,
Oh yeah, so
they
you can't do
kind
that.
of can't.
Okay, then that's the only reason I was interested in 2c4 is if I could play it that way, play it to make it a Maroxybine. But you're right. But I mean e5. The only thing is though, if I'm playing this from the black side, I don't like playing e5 here. But I guess it wouldn't matter.
I mean, also there is knight f6, knight c3. Like, if you really want to, you can play e6. In general, the Maroxy isn't too great against these e6 Sicilians because, like,
d5 is supported,
yeah, by a pawn. So,
right?
in general, against these e6 Sicilians, Maroxy isn't wonderful. Um, but yeah, that was
So
it.
it's better
Played
when
for
black has
d5.
played e5.
Yeah. E5 is a slight edge for black, and these E6
But
Sicilians is like a quality.
if you're playing it as white, you need to have already played d4 and traded that pawn off for the c5
Hmm.
pawn. Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So game three, I had white in this game. We see knight f3, knight c6, d4. Not allowing e5 ideas, of course. D5, G3 is the line I've chosen. I tend to really enjoy these types of setups. Bishop G4, Bishop G2, Knight F6. And then there's some, I didn't go for it this game, but there's some very interesting Knight E5 ideas that I always explore around in Blitz, with the point being takes. 94 runs into F3,
Yeah.
so 94 not possible. Knight D7, Queen D5. And the point is, you're just up a pawn. So they can't take your knight, which means you end up winning the bishop or you get in c4. C4 is a very nice idea because they can't take.
Oh,
And when they don't take, they play e6, you play queen a4. And suddenly it's like just a lot of pressure is building up against black.
right.
In this game, I played castles, which is okay. Then c4, knight c3, and then I chose knight e5. Maybe a bit late, but knight e5 is still a good idea. And my opponent from here just loses, kind of. They allow knight g4
So
and
what? So wait,
e4.
the bar went crazy when bishop e6 was when bishop d6 was played.
Yeah. The point is e4. Um, and the only way to save the knight is to play knight h6, which do you
Yeah,
really want to play knight
you don't want to do
h6?
that.
Like
Yeah,
e5, bishop e7, bishop h6, and then you're gonna be winning this as well, and black has made it in like f4, f5,
right.
f6. So my
The,
opponent
the
decides to give away the knight. Um,
Ben Feingold would say you're mated and you're losing all your pieces.
exactly. And then actually they do a good job of creating some counterplay here. Um, I was actually getting a little bit worried during the game about this. So knight c3, some pressure on threats. I had managed to get my opponent's queen to h7,
Mm.
which I felt like I should be happy. The
Feels like
queen
it
is
should be good.
restricted, although my king is never really feels safe somehow because of where my light
Right.
squared bishop is. Um. Okay, rook c1, b5, knight c3, f5. I decided to take their knight, um, because I win
You get
d5,
that.
and then rook c4 was just a nice finishing touch.
Wait. Let me. Oh, I see. Queen e6.
Yeah, just very simple tactics. Very meat and potatoes. So I won a pawn, b4, a4. Black's bishop is trapped. They go for some final desperate queen h3 ideas, which don't even work because I have rook g1. But again, I think I'm in time pressure here, so bishop g4. Just don't allow any ideas.
Right.
H5, bc7 takes, take with the queen, and
You
win.
threw away the knight, but of course it doesn't matter.
Yeah, of course. I gave away a knight, but
Just get the queens
I'm
off the board.
up a
It's
rook.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up a rook, so I can pre-move the entire rest of the game,
Right.
which was nice. So, any questions
Right.
about this game?
No, I don't think so.
None? Sweet.
Although it wouldn't hurt to go through it again. Just
Yeah.
you know, quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
So I mean, you
Yeah.
just up a piece at this point.
Exactly. Well, I'm up a piece for 2 pawns, and my
For two
opponent
pawns.
is trying to make threats around my king. Although they
Right.
never quite land, really.
Right.
In my So something you might notice is whenever I get the chance, I try to go for two bishops. So here I have two bishops. Um and my my position is very safe, very solid. I'll give up this bishop for the knight at some moment or the other just to simplify the game. And then like we saw, just like pick up these remaining pawns, and pretty soon the advantage will be more felt. Um, Rook c4 was a nice like converting move, not entirely necessary, but
Oh no. Although
just
you know,
hmm?
black playing f4 seems like
Yeah.
I don't
I
know, but
mean,
I guess there's not much else he can do.
yeah,
Got to
exactly.
try
Black's just
something.
trying to go for anything. F4 or like G5, G4. Black's trying to go for something, but it never really exists because of where my king is and all my pieces being around it.
Um,
Um, so F4, Rook C4, not totally needed, but just makes the converting process that much simpler.
yeah,
Um,
I mean,
B4, A4, threat of A5. They allow A5, and then it's just a point of takes, and now queen. And kind of hard to mess up a game when it's queen, knight, rook versus
yeah.
queen.
From this point, it's pretty easy. And then your
Yeah.
opponent allowed you to trade queens a few moves later. I mean, technically you
Exactly.
sacrificed a knight, but who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Upper rook, and my opponent's trying to go for anything really, trying to catch me lacking with some pre-move like this, and trying to
Right.
hope that like somehow I allow some checkmate of some sort. Like maybe I
Yeah,
pre-move this, even this doesn't work,
you're
but
still not,
hoping that like
you still haven't lost
something.
it yet, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Because King f3, I have like all sorts of maiden ones. Even if I did
Right.
pre-move this,
You
I
still
would
somehow,
checkmate them a move before they checkmate me.
right. Um,
Um,
Greg, yes, essentially I'm getting a lesson from Fair. Elias says Fair is just showing off, which is, you know, not untrue,
definitely not
but
untrue.
I am also getting a lesson. Greg's gonna join PJ's tourney. Fair enough.
I was playing with the black pieces. E4, C5, A3, E6. This is an opening that I haven't really looked at before. This A3 and B4 ideas. Um,
Right. Apparently this is Gotham's line, and it's totally
yeah,
fine.
the two A3 is Gotham's line with a lot of the venom coming from this variation. Um, Here, and then Queen A5 is pretty much the only move here. Like in
Really.
the database, well, what do you say the most natural move is here? Maybe knight f6, knight b5,
Um, yeah,
queen d8, d5, knight
right.
e5, bishop f4.
Yeah, see, I knew knight f6 didn't feel right, but this is the exact type of thing that I would walk him right into
Yeah, knight f
because I
d7.
wouldn't stop to think whether knight f6 was okay. I would just, it has to be okay because it's knight f6.
Yeah, and then like queen e2, f6, knight f3.
And here comes f6 again.
Yeah, and it's like the top move here is to play king f7, which
Wow.
probably tells you something
I
about
mean,
the position.
whatever. You know what? F6, I honestly, I hate f6 a lot less after king f7.
Yeah.
It feels
I
like
mean,
there's
the
at
idea
least
is just to like.
some some cohesive purpose behind our moves now. Even if the purpose even if the purpose is to just sacrifice our king.
Yeah, so this is like where a lot of the venom comes in. Uh and then here on knight a3, there are a bunch of other moves which are just bad. E6 runs into knight b5 again. Like knight a6 runs into knight b5 ideas again.
Right,
A6 also runs into knight c4, which is even more venomous because there's a fork threat, and then after this, there's d5 again,
right.
and then all of the pieces are getting in. So,
Elias said I always play a6 after the first knight move, and I get fucked out of the opening and then end up winning anyways. I mean, except against PJ, the winning anyway part didn't work. But Greg said, WTF in the not reading your opponent's position is this game? That's a lot of words.
uh, yeah. So, anyways, I play e6 to try to not be met with b4. They play b4 anyways. Um, and they play knight c3, which I've never seen before.
This,
Uh,
Elias, you got to admit, this does look a lot like what you played against PJ, where he pressed you. Remember that? When he wiped you off the board? Remember that? Remember that?
yeah,
You're
no,
sitting
this
there.
position kind of has shades of that, except
I'm
like
just,
he has an A pawn and the pawn's on E3.
I'm just messing with Elias. I just wanted to
Yeah, no,
remind
I
him
see it. I
about
see it. I
that
see
brutality that he suffered at the hands of PJ.
it. So I play knight f6, and I'm actually worse here already. Which,
Really?
yeah, I'm worse because of E5. My idea was bishop c3, bc3, and knight d5,
Which
where,
seems fine, but I guess it's not.
yeah, this was my idea. And after c4, I'm actually much worse here.
Interesting.
I have to play this, and queen g4 is a very big issue. Queen g4 is a
Whoa.
queen g4 is a very typical theme, especially when the opponent has a pawn on e5. So
Castles bishop h6, I assume.
castle's like even knight f3 and then bishop h6, but yeah, bishop h6 at some point. So let me switch this to the white perspective. Um, as a key thing about these structures, which you see all the time, in like this type of structure, these pawns, uh, no, this. With these pawns here, you always want to play queen g4 with white, because if you get black to play rook g8, that means they can't
Yeah,
castle kingside. King f8 means they can't castle. And castles means they're set up for all sorts of very dangerous tactics. Like, for
right.
example, this, and then like bishop a3 ideas, knight g5, queen h5, bishop h6. You can see how the position starts to become very dangerous for the black king. Like, say you play a nothing move and you play, I don't know, b6, bishop h7, king h7, knight g5, king g8, queen h5.
Right. Game over.
And then, like, it starts to, you just lose.
Red name is
Rook
here.
a3. Goat. So this also occurs in the French. If you keep in mind this idea of when you have a pawn on e5 trying to play queen g4. No, it's in the winner. Where isn't it? Here, e5. Oh, I was just looking at this. Okay, c5, a3, bc3, queen c7, queen g4. This is the top move. And when looking at this, you can see the structure again. Queen g4 is the choice. And then as a little historical grounding, this was played in, I believe, the first game.
1905. No,
The
sorry.
first game of Tall Botvinnik.
Okay.
Um,
What?
so
Wait.
the
Which
game
Talbot Vinnick?
continued.
Didn't they play three matches?
Tall Botvinnik 1960
Okay, so that's the
with
first one,
knight
right?
e7, queen g7, rook h8, queen h7, cd4, king d1. And this was Tall Botvinnik 1960.
Okay.
One of the games here. Very, very fascinating position already arises with 10 king d1, but I digress.
Kids
So
already on
let's
the
see
chess
here.
history. Yeah. Oh no.
Back to the game.
My
Okay, my opponent played
hold on. My
uh
earphones are trying to
hmm,
die on me,
uh-oh.
and I don't have another set charging. Maybe I should do something about that. One
Hmm.
second. Okay.
Issue. Matter of fact, I will be right back.
Now the charger. That's the question. Why is fair is fair? He didn't wipe me off the board. Also, I had to draw in the last game, then forgot I only needed a draw. Yeah, it was brutal.
Okay, I am back. And yeah, um, just double checking what I said. Game one of Tall Botvinnik 1960 was indeed this line with queen g4, king d1. Was indeed this position. Actually,
Okay.
no. It was queen g4, f5 f7, uh, queen g3, knight g8. It was this position with king d1.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Tall gives some. I have my copy of Tall Botvinnik 1960, where Tall is actually the author, and he gives some very interesting feedback into what he's thinking about during the game. But okay.
Love Tal's annotations, man. He's always
Yeah,
he's always entertaining.
for sure.
Kind of
My
like his
opponent,
games.
hmm?
Kind of like his games.
Yeah,
Always entertaining.
my
Oh,
opponent plays bishop a3 instead of c4. Queen c7 is a clean fork of pawns. And from here, my opponent kind of just starts to lose a little bit. They
I'm just
allow
starting to lose a little.
they allow knight c3, knight e2, they allow this.
Then they started
Um,
losing a lot.
yeah. Then they kind of just lose.
They really,
Um,
really committed to the whole losing thing.
yeah. Uh, E5 I was pretty happy about. Just I don't know, some solid type move. E5 allows for Queen G4, and then once Queen D4 happened, it's kind of game over. And they resigned here.
Right. Down a rook,
So
good time to resign.
down, yeah, down a rook and a pawn. Any questions about the game?
Um, so do you, so wait a minute, let's go back to knight f6.
Yeah,
This is another case where knight f6 was a bad move?
knight f6 runs into d5, and
Play there instead of knight f6.
this again, this concept of this structure, Queen G4 is almost always going to be a top move, just because of how the nature of the position is.
Right.
Queen G4 will almost always be a top move, and if Queen G4 doesn't hang a queen in this structure, like I'm talking specifically with this pawn on E5 and this pawn on E6, Queen G4 will be a top move.
Right.
So that's
So
why knight
so wait,
f6 is
go
wrong for a very concrete reason.
right, yeah, now that makes sense. But if you go back, what should you play instead of knight f6?
Mm, I should play knight c6 to not allow
Okay.
e5.
All right. Awesome. Yeah,
Knight
that's the
c6
only
and
question I had on
d5.
this one.
Yep.
Because knight f6 and it all, oh, I mean, you ended up winning, but um,
Truthfully, not the
I'm
cleanest
noticing
game.
I'm noticing a pattern here. Is all these times I want to develop a knight and it's wrong. Because this happens in my real games too. And it's usually a knight because
Yeah,
you know, those of you
exactly.
you just get them out there. I played
Hmm.
knight f6 and knight c6 or knight f3 and knight c3 without thinking a lot of times.
Yeah, which is a bad
And
habit to have because.
yeah, playing any move without thinking is pretty much bad.
Mhm.
But
So
yeah, so
there we
I
go.
just wanted to look at that. All right, I'm the only thing is I hate to do it, but this is gonna have to be my it's gonna have to be my last game. Um,
Oh, no issue then.
can we can we
If
wait
this is
what?
going to be your last game, let me show you a interesting one at least.
All right,
This
well
is
I definitely
hmm,
want to do this. I want to do this this thing that we're doing right now. I want to do this again sometime because this is fun.
yeah, of
You going
course.
through games and me just sitting here and asking questions.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm passing out, so we'll have to do this at some point when
Okay, this is a
I'm going to
game I played
retain zero
against.
information from this. Okay, so
This is a
okay,
game
so
I
this is against Rav. Nice.
yeah, just so me and Rav played 3 sparring games before his tournament. This is the only game I won,
Ah, nice.
which is why I'm showing it to you, to be honest.
What
Because I was,
was this 10 minute? Oh, I see, 10 minute.
yeah,
Yeah.
this was 10 minute. So knight f3, d5, g3, c5, bishop g2, knight f6, castles, knight c6, d4. Now, this opening, I have always really liked from the white side. Um, I had this. great game against National Master Troy Kavanagh in this line exactly, with knight c3, bishop here, queen d7 here, rook d1, long castles, cd5 with no, long castles, bishop e3, king b8, cd5, knight d5, bishop d5, cd5, knight b4, d4, bishop takes d4, and he resigned in this position. So this is an opening that I've always really enjoyed from the white side because I got this victory against National Master Troy Kavanagh in a over the board classical game.
Wow, nice. So wait.
Yeah.
In this final position,
hmm
let me. So if he takes with the pawn, you just take with the rook,
Take with the rook. And now the
and
issue
then
is his queen is overloaded. The queen has to defend a7 and the d8 rook at the same time, which it
right.
can't
So
do.
well,
So
well, queen e7 can't be
rook
moved, but
d8,
oh, and then right.
queen d8, queen a7, king here, rook c1, and it's
Wicked.
checkmate.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, which is why he resigned, because like pretty tilting experience probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
Um, so I've always enjoyed this opening because of that. Now we don't see h6, we see bishop b7. Um, bishop e7 was a move that I knew wasn't great. Although I wasn't quite so sure how to punish it, I decided to go for queen a4, queen d7, knight c3, bishop c5, take. And normally this endgame is very fruitful for the white pieces because of this center just being bad, kind of.
Right.
Um, Bishop g5, rook d1, and you just put a lot of pressure on the center. Black kind of is in a very awkward position somehow. Like, none of Black's coordination really does much of anything.
Hey, little boy.
Oh, sorry, my dog is barking. But okay, so none of Black's coordination really does much of anything. I played Rook D1, King E6, Bishop G5, and actually in this moment, I've messed it up already, which is very unfortunate. Rav has this moment that he can play Knight G4, E3,
Oh,
H6. And this is a point. My
right.
bishop is trapped. Although it's not terrible somehow, because I have compensation in the form of this. And like, even though technically the material is kind of equalish, it doesn't ever feel that way. And in fact, there's knight f2 here. Knight f2, king f2, rook b2, rook h2. No, this rook takes h2. I'm almost like getting close to checkmated.
Right.
So thankfully, Rav missed his chance. He played rook hd8, rook ac1, bishop d4, knight b4. And now I'm back to being better because I have this threat of knight c7. So bishop b2, bishop h3 also wins, but rook b1 is probably the easier one to see. Rook b1, knight here. There's both knight d4 and knight c7. Knight c7, and you just pick up the bishop or the exchange in the corner, whichever one
Oh,
you would like.
yeah.
So bishop b6 is chosen, knight c7, and Raf is under some pressure here. Rook d7, bishop h3, the move I choose. King d6, forced. Then I choose rook c3, which isn't as good as rook c1. These were the two moves I was thinking about. I ended up choosing rook c3 because I wanted to keep some mobility for my rook to double on the d pawn and be able to slide around pretty much anywhere.
Mhm.
So I chose rook c3. Apparently not the right choice. Rav chooses rook c7. Now bishop f6 is the wrong choice entirely and just a no good bit of hope chess, if I'm being honest. I was hoping Rav was going to play rook c3 because I get this.
Huh.
Um, it came, it did not come as a shock when Rav played gf6. And now it should
Okay,
be
wait.
equal.
My earphones are quitting. 1 second.
Mm, okay, I played e4. You can't take because of rook here. d4, bishop f5, h6, rook here. And I managed to outplay Rav in this endgame. And we get into this endgame. And yeah, that was it. Yeah. Yeah. um, but yeah, so I was happy with the stage from this point on. In this endgame, I kind of just started to outplay Rav. Didn't make the best decisions, but Rav truthfully played whatever D3 is. He said a very Rav like statement that he forgot I had a light squared bishop, which,
Got it.
um, yeah, kind of unfortunate to forget about a whole minor piece.
Yeah.
But from
Uh,
D3 on, I'm winning. Uh, I round up the pawn on D3,
so
and
one of
then
the sneakiest.
um,
So wait a minute.
but
I missed the playthrough, but can play from here? Could you do back in that position we were just in? Is Rook F4 like?
mhm,
Is that what you played?
yeah, of course.
Okay. It's like probably not what the computer wants because you are giving up a pawn, but it seems like
It's the third choice of the engine. Um, but it's just by far and away the easiest move.
right.
Here I missed a chance to play b4 right away.
Oh,
Don't really know what was going through my mind. Like, this is obviously a winning race. Um,
Right.
but I played king e2 to not allow king f3, king e4, a3. And then I played b4. And we kind of get into this weird position where as if um it's as if we're here. Uh yeah, it's as if we're here, but I have a3 on the board, which doesn't do anything whatsoever. In fact, a3 hurts me in this position because I can go a4 in one move. Uh, but instead a3, a4 takes two moves. Um, but okay, I got into this race. Um, and normally here, uh, queen versus an h pawn is a draw. This is normally a draw, but because of how close my king is, I actually can
Yeah.
checkmate Rav. So h2, queen here, king here, and then I actually am checkmating with
Right.
queen here. Um, yeah, and
Uh,
then just a very
yeah.
simple. Hmm?
No, no, just talking out loud
Yeah,
as opposed to
just
talking
very
silently.
simple
Yes. Dude,
here.
I'm falling asleep.
Yep.
So yeah. So
Well,
then
that's
Queen
the end
F3
of
is
the
Queen
game. If you
F1.
have any questions, let me know.
Uh,
Otherwise, I will let you
I have a question. How dare you? No, I'm kidding. Uh,
go.
no, okay, this was fun. Um, yeah, we should definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
all right, who do we think I should rate?
Grade PJ maybe?
Yeah, all right, let's rate
Or
PJ.
rate Elias.
Yeah, it's a nice in-game understanding check, knowing how to walk the queen down and not draw. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Oh well, if Elias is live, I'm gonna rate.
At least I think he's alive. Yeah, he's alive. And
Ozo
he's
Chess
live.
oh 06. No special characters.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna rate that bozo. Yeah, or any bozo, really. Let me fist in the sea, Maria.
Well, have a good night. I will see you later.
All right, Fair. Yeah, have a good one. Thanks everybody for coming in. See y'all next time.